Welcome to the Lock Shop with Neilson and Hustler.
All right, it's 11:02. Welcome to the Lock Shop, everybody. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends about the Lock Shop and everything we're doing over here at Edmonton Sports Talk. And, of course, EST is presented to you by our partners at Play Alberta. And from the golf tournament, one lucky winner from the golf tournament will actually have the Play Alberta suite at Commonwealth for the rematch game tomorrow. And a bunch of ESTers should be up in that suite as well. So it should end up being a pretty good day tomorrow. Chat's already moving over here. Benny, throw up Play Alberta on the studio as well. Huss is going to join us. We will recap the Thursday nighter. Obviously, the spitting, the lightning delay, the fact that Jalen Hurts doesn't like to throw to his receivers, to Barkley, to his tight ends, yes. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, no. Am I bitter about this because of fantasy on a couple of different fronts? Yes. Am I bitter about this because we had Devontae Smith over 22 and a half receiving yards and it didn't hit? Yes. Jalen Hurts pretty much dead to me after week one, as a passer, at least. We'll dive into some Canadian Football League as well, but we'll have our NFL best bets. Huss and I usually give you 4 best bets as we work our way through the Friday show. Very much looking forward to that. We've already got a bunch of stuff up over on the EST specials page at Play Alberta. Play Alberta this year with improved odds on all North American major leagues, including the National Football League. And it's all more convenient than ever with the new and improved Play Alberta app as well. Here's what we have up already. We have the early bird bet of the day, which came in at plus 390. That's an O'Marion Hampton touchdown and a James Butler touchdown. Plus 390 on that one. BC's going to score points against Ottawa for sure. I love the James Butler touchdown, and I think O'Marion Hampton, I've seen a few places, people are loving the overs there. They're loving the touchdown. So Hampton and Butler, a cross-promo CFL, NFL parlay, plus 390. And then my play of the day, I posted on social media a little while ago. Dicker the kicker, 2+ field goals tonight against the Chiefs. Dicker had 2 or more field goals in 12 games last year. That was at minus 122. I moved it to minus 105. So Dicker, 2+ field goals, minus 105. That one is waiting for you on our EST specials page as well. We've got the oil stream coming up at noon. Connor McDavid is going to be speaking to the rest of the media. Chatted with Speck and Rashog yesterday. All the other people will have a chance to chat with him today. Reed Wilkins is down there for Edmonton Sports Talk. We got the oil stream coming up. Reach will be back in the office. We'll probably pop on the oil stream with us. So lots to discuss on the oil stream today as well. But man, it's kind of go time. Week 1 is here. We got a game to break down last night, and obviously a bunch of games that we can pick from for this weekend. Let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports. So Huss, what is up, my man? That Kansas City Chiefs shirt is on. He's ready for his boys tonight. I'm surprised you're not in Brazil.
Hey, oh my God, I'm fired up. I got up today. I had a bunch of stuff to do, a live show earlier on WST. I just talked to Matt Collar, the Purple Insider, for a big-time Vikings preview for all the Vike fans here. They are fired up for Monday night. I mean, you got to wait till Monday night if you're a Viking fan to get going. And I'm just pumped. We got the Chiefs in primetime tonight. Tomorrow, CFL triple header, Banjo Bowl in the Peg. And then Sunday, dude, this Sunday slate, as I say, shout out to the schedule maker. I bitch about schedules a lot. This is the best week 1 schedule. There's so many tight, interesting games. 2 great primetime games. And then the Sunday nighter, listen, what a gift of football fans. Bills, Ravens.
That's a great way to wrap the first Sunday of the year, man.
And I got to tell you, man, this Monday nighter, what an awesome Monday nighter. J.J. McCarthy's NFL debut, going up against Caleb Williams, who was drafted number 1 overall in his same draft. Ben Johnson starting his time as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. I mean, there's not many duds on the card. Like, even a game like Jacksonville, Carolina, we're looking forward to seeing Travis Hunter go both ways. Teteroa McMillan, how's Bryce Young looking? New coach
for Trevor Lawrence. Yes,
exactly. Well, we can say that every year when Jacksonville plays the team. But listen, it's great. And like, the funniest thing is, we've been kind of talking about this all week, with 16 games on the slate, including last night. You had the Eagles as 8.5-point favorites. You got the Broncos at 8-point favorites. Those are really the two big spreads. Like, I think Arizona is up to 6.
Yeah, I saw some movement last night. Yeah.
I'm seeing 6.5 right now, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know. Listen, if you want to throw a survivor pick down on the Cardinals, go for it, I guess. But everything else is so tight for the most part. I mean, it's just like the last 3, 4, 5, 6 games on the slate are all 1.5, 2, 3, 1, 1, basically pick'ems. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the Viking Bears game is a pick'em. The Ravens Bills game is basically a pick'em. The Lions Packers game is close. The Niner Seahawk game is 1.5, damn close to a pick'em.
Dolphins Colts, yep,
is a pick'em. So, not an easy survivor week, but I'll tell you what, it is going to be a hell of a week. And I don't even know where you want to start. Spread picks. We got props. We got touchdown scores.
Buddy,
I mean, you name it. I'm locked in.
I've got my 4 best bets narrowed down to about 6. That's not going to be easy. We got some anytime touchdown scores that we're going to put together as well. We got the game tonight that we can certainly dive into, but we got to go back to last night. I mean, how do you get ejected before the first snap of the ball game for spitting on the other team's starting quarterback, man? The entire football world is watching. Like, is he that stupid? Do you think he was going to get away with it? What happened? I was watching. I was like, did that just happen? Did he just spit on Dak Prescott? What is going on here? It made no sense. I still can't figure it out.
It ain't a Mensa convention on the field. I mean, these guys are killers, but not often Rhodes Scholars. It doesn't get any stupider than that. I mean, I don't know. Listen, we all saw at halftime kind of what happened before that with Dak spitting in the direction of him, and then with that big smile out of him as he stands
that
behind
smirk.
The 2 linemen was amazing. But I mean, for Carter was the one starting. He was the one that was walking onto the other side of the field. He was the one that was trying to intimidate or do whatever to Dak. And then he got played. He got played like a poker hand. And it was hilarious. Could not have happened to a better guy on a better team for that. And I'll tell you what, they're lucky they won that football game. I don't want to say lucky. I thought Hurts was brilliant. Hurts, last night, folks, this is why we were saying that Jalen Hurts is the most consistent player in fantasy football. You want to pick where you're not going to have to worry at any point throughout the season on who to start. It's Jalen Hurts.
Just not any of his offensive weapons except Saquon.
But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. Even on games where he doesn't have a big passing game, he had more rushing yards than Barkley last night.
Yeah, he takes off, right? He doesn't necessarily go through reads offensively. Like he looked at AJ Brown like 9 times last night, then took off running. Like it's an interesting debate. I was watching the Onright show after, and they were talking about, and you're right, from a fantasy perspective, the floor is probably the best floor that you can have.
The highest floor of any player in football.
Highest floor. Yeah, week. I think Saquon be right there too. But Jalen Hurts and his rushing ability. But it's an interest. Maybe as a Chiefs fan who saw things last year, maybe it's different. But like, is Jalen Hurts an elite quarterback? Like that was the conversation they were having last night. And I'm just like, you look at what he's accomplished here so far. you instantly sort of think yes, but then you watched last night's game and he done a ton with his feet, but he didn't activate A.J. Brown at all, barely used Devontae Smith. I mean, those are two pretty good weapons that he just couldn't get the ball to last night. So I don't know. Like, I don't think he's...
Who cares?
Well, I think it's an interesting conversation, though.
Brown owners care about that. But, different games, you don't go into a game saying, oh, it's mandatory. This guy needs this many balls. I mean, you see what you're being given and you go and you move the football and you put it into the end zone. And he just happens to do it himself a lot more than others. But, I mean, I if you're asking me, 100% Hurts is an elite quarterback. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got a Super Bowl MVP. And last night, when the offense as a whole wasn't clicking like in midseason form, he's good enough to basically do it himself. And he did that more often than not last night.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think I'd put him as a top 10 passer in the league. And I just don't know if I can have a non-top 10 passer in the league as, like a top 5 elite quarterback.
You see that ball that he put into number 2?
Dotson
last night. I mean, that was absolutely perfect. It couldn't have been put in a better spot. Are there better quarterbacks, guys that I would rather have? Yeah, but Hurts is in that top tier, if you ask me. I mean, Burrow, Mahomes, obviously Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. I mean, to me, that's your 5.
Wow, you really like Hurts. You like Hurts, eh?
I mean, what's there not to like?
Well, I don't necessarily like him as a passer. Like, I think he...
This isn't Justin Fields.
No, I mean, it's not Justin Fields.
Did you take A.J. Brown in a few... Were you sitting there going...
No, actually, Marshall, my son had A.J. Brown. Marshall was on tilt when he went to bed last night. He's trying to trade him last night at halftime. I said, you need to relax. I had Devontae Smith. He used him a little bit. And there will be games when he obviously gets those guys involved a little bit more. But
crazy sometimes.
What's that?
Those guys will go crazy in some games. The one thing that we do know every week is Hurts is going to be there. But hey, I have to ask you just before we get into the picks, how is Marsh's team?
It worked out pretty well, man. Although I haven't told him about McCaffrey's calf right now and how it's becoming a bit of an issue. But he picked 8th overall. There were some good wide receivers left, and I didn't want to lead him, but I was like, there's some pretty good wide receivers here. And he's like, and he's looking at it. He goes, he actually kind of studied a little bit for it because he goes, if CMC can stay healthy and gets the workload he did 2 years ago, he goes, I think he could be a league winner. So he took McCaffrey at 8 because he was in the 8-9 swing. And then I knew he was going to take Josh Allen. Like he just the number 1 rated quarterback in fantasy. So I'm going to take Josh Allen. Then he got A.J. Brown and Brian Thomas Jr., and then I can't remember who else. I think he's got Chuba Hubbard. I don't know. It came together pretty good. And then he wanted the best kicker, so he took Aubrey a little bit early. But Aubrey had a good game last night. Hit that deep shot, and he's got I think he's got the Broncos defense. So he did okay. He really wanted Cooper Kupp, and I said you can probably get Cooper Kupp with your last pick. He goes, yeah, Daddy, I want a big name. I was just like, sure, man. So at the end, he took Cooper Kupp. But he had an absolute riot with it. It was pretty fun. But he's going to be, I don't know. He probably asked Tammy when he got up this morning before he went to school if A.J. Brown ended up having a catch last night. Because he's sitting there. He comes over to me after his bath last night, and I'm getting ready to put him in bed. He goes, he grabs the magazine. He starts flipping through. He goes, Daddy, I think I got to offer up A.J. Brown in a trade. I said, well, let's just wait and see. So, we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, he had a lot of fun with it last night.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to be asking you about Marsh's fantasy team. We all have a million teams. I'm as interested in his and that kids league as almost him. But it'll teach them some hard lessons too. You're all fired up and 1 catch, 6 yards. What the hell was that? But
late in the game too. It was I should have woke him up. It was pretty late, but I should have woke him up. Say, hey, Marshall, A.J. Brown got 1 catch, 6 yards. And let him go back to sleep.
He doesn't need to be woken up for that.
Yeah.
It was just quickly before we get into picks from a fantasy perspective, the one thing that I think everyone was going like, whoa, wait a second here. Javonte Williams. Like, is he going to be?
I traded him on Monday. Did I tell you that? I drafted him in the Spite League on Sunday, and then I wanted Calvin Ridley really badly, so I traded him. I got Calvin Ridley. I was okay with it. But then I saw him get, and the guy who ended up eventually, and then Williams got traded again. But the guy who has Williams in that league had him on the bench. Like, how many people had Williams on the bench last night?
Well, probably
quite a few.
Not starting when everyone's healthy.
Would you say, Huss, that it was an encouraging game for Cowboys fans? Like, CD had a couple of balls that he usually would have caught, and it catches those, they might win that football game. Like, if I'm a Cowboys fan, seeing the way Dak played last night and the way that he was zipping that ball out there, I think he has to be pretty, I know you lost, but I think you got to be pretty happy with it.
Oh, absolutely. And I will quickly allow my quick Barry Horowitz hit the Ride with Huss parlay on night 1 of the season. And what did I say yesterday? Listen, I know everyone's freaking out about Micah Parsons being gone, but for Dallas and what their Achilles heel has been, getting run all over, Kenny Clark is a difference maker. And that was part of the reason why I had the under on Saquon Barkley rushing yards yesterday, because I think he changes their ability to protect against the run, albeit the quarterback probably has more time to throw and do some things without Micah Parsons in the backfield. But that looked like a defense that, was a little bit more balanced than it had been in the past. And I think that actually could be helpful, especially in some of these games against teams like Philly, where Saquon Barkley just basically had his way in the past. So that was nice. Yeah, it would have Cowboys plus 8.5, CeeDee Lamb over 73.5 yards, and Saquon under 94.5. So a very nice start to the year. Oh, look at La Bamba guy. Proudly started Williams. In a 12-man redraft.
I want to ask La Bamba guy, who did you start him over? I'm just curious. Was he in a flex, or was he in one of your 2 running back spots, and who did you bench instead of him? Because that's I'm curious. I'm curious to see what level of guy Williams is starting above in fantasy. I like that.
Reggie Dunlop asking, who the hell is Barry Horowitz? Barry Horowitz, famous old school wrestling jobber who would be introduced, Barry Horowitz, and the first thing he would do was turn around and pat himself on the back. And in fact, if you look up in some Google images or GIFs, he actually has wrestling tights with the handprint on his back shoulder from patting himself on the back. So yes, when you want to engage in some self-congratulations, you can pull yourself to Barry Horowitz and give yourself the pat on the back.
All right, La Bamba guy says, I moved him to a starter from a flex because of the Thursday game. I started him over Benson and Higgins. And I'm assuming that's Jaden Higgins. I don't think you started Javonte Williams over T. Higgins. But maybe you did. Sully texts in and says, Williams is a starter in my dynasty league. Yes, that's how bad my dynasty team is. That sounds about right.
You know what? If you can get a guy like that late that all of a sudden is a starter and is going to get 15 plus touches a game, it can completely change your outlook for the season. So anyways, if you bought low on Javonte Williams, you should be happy today when it comes to fantasy. But let's get into some picks. We got a full slate of games, Dusty. What's your favorite? Where are you starting? Where does your card start? What's your first spread pick of the year?
You know what? I've got 6 that I like, but I don't know, because it's such a tight board. I don't know if there's one that I love more than the others. I don't think there's one that I was like, boom, that's it. I kind of dove into this pretty heavily last night. It's a good question on what my favorite one will be. Here's where I'll start. I am going this one. I'm going to go Miami Dolphins +1 on the road this week. Okay. Tyreek Hill. I saw a report this morning. Tyreek Hill trending towards playing. And not that I necessarily love H.M., but he's trending towards playing as well. So you're getting a healthy Dolphins offense. going into week 1, which, let's be honest, how often have we said that about this team, right? And usually when they're healthy, it's a pretty good offense. And what I'm doing here is I'm fading Daniel Jones. Like, is that a crazy idea? I don't think it's a crazy idea. So it's not necessarily my favorite. It's one of my 6. And I thought about it a little bit more this morning. And I'm actually going to take the Dolphins at +1 in week 1 and then likely end up staying away from them for the majority of our best bets the rest of the season. But I think a Dolphins offense that can come to play will actually put up some points. I know the Colts last year, like a top 10-ish defense, but as long as Tua's healthy and on the field, man, he's got the weapons to put up some points. So I'm going to take Miami. As like you said, a lot of these are essentially pick'ems. Seeing the Dolphins at +1 right now, so I'm going to take Miami.
You're going to laugh at this. We're starting off the season.
No.
Going head to head.
Oh, my God. Wait, is this your favorite play of the week?
No, but
okay.
It's one of my
right.
4. But it's
All
one
right.
of my 4. I just figured while we're talking about this game, I'll mention that I am on the other side here.
Okay, I like it.
Now, listen, there is an element of sort of being down on Miami, and I know there's been a big narrative that they could take a step back. I do agree with you that this is in a dome. I mean, Miami is close to healthy, although Tyreek, I just don't know what's going on.
You're saying
him.
He'll play, but how healthy is he really?
I mean, he's not that trustworthy of a player right now. And then you talk about everything happening behind the scenes with him. Anyways, it seems like there's been a bit of black cloud around the Dolphins, but maybe this is a good spot for them to start. On the road, away from the noise down in South Florida, going up against the Colts team. But here's the thing. I am not fading Danny Dimes this year. Oh. I actually think that this is a great – listen, it sucks for them that they put the 4th overall pick into Richardson, but this guy can't play. He is not accurate. He cannot hit his receivers. And it was absolutely killing them last year. The one thing that Daniel Jones, there's a couple things that Daniel Jones can do. He can create some yards with his feet. He looks a little lanky, but we've seen him get into open space and do that well. But he's also pretty darn accurate when he has more than half a second to throw the football. And the Colts just did not have that. Like, I think Pittman, Downs, Tyler Warren are all far more fantasy playable, at least, speaking of that, with Daniel Jones in. But I also think that they'll have a pretty well-balanced offense. I love Jonathan Taylor this year. I mean, I think the Colts have done a good job at focusing on things that really matter. Their defense, their offensive line, and then, they use their first-round pick on a playmaker like Warren that can come in and hopefully really change their offense from the tight end position. This game should be tight. It should be a pick'em, but I guess they're now a slight home favorite. I mean, as I say, I'm looking at a money line that's almost even. So call it a pick'em or take the point. I mean, as I say, this isn't one of my top picks, but it did end up making my top 4 in that, I think the Colts get it done. And I think they might actually surprise some people this year. Just for a second, I know we're not really getting into futures today at all, but what was the win total for the Colts this year? Indianapolis, 7.5. I actually like the Colts to go over this number. I'm looking at, they play in that South, so you're going to have a division schedule that's pretty nice. But they got Dolphins, Broncos at home, at Titans, Rams, Raiders, Cardinals, Chargers, Titans, Steelers, Falcons, Chiefs, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Niners, Jags, Texans. Yeah, I do think that they can jump. I might add that to the card. A little love for the Colts and Danny Dimes. But anyways, fun game to talk about. Probably won't be on the big screen on many 7 TV setups. But
confusion corner for you, Huss.
That's spread right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think for the
I've been there with you on opening day a couple of times.
For the early games, so much fun. Yeah. We'll get into all of that and then focus in on the other games. All right. I'll go with my pick next. And I'm going to, and I think this is probably my favorite pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers -2.5 in New York against the Jets. We've got the double revenge game here, folks. I mean, a la MBT and Cody Fajardo going head-to-head in the CFL after being traded for each other. You've got Justin Fields going from Pittsburgh to the Jets. You've got Aaron Rodgers going from the Jets to Pittsburgh, and they meet week 1 at MetLife Stadium. I got a lot of good, I've been on Aaron Rodgers, egomaniac, everything for the last couple of years. I'm actually going to give him some credit right now. He waited it out. He committed to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he sat down with Mike Tomlin, or more accurately, Mike Tomlin sat down with him and said, we want you to play quarterback, but this is the way it's going to go. You're not doing a million podcasts. We're not going to have any drama. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers showed up and shut up. We haven't heard a peep out of him throughout all of training camp.
Yeah, he's almost been non-existent, really, right? Nothing's really been popping up on socials.
It could not be a bigger 180 to last year's camp and the year before with the New York Jets. Here's the other thing. Aaron Rodgers, as much as I love to take shots at him, once he really got healthy from that, like you look at the last 6 weeks of last year's season, he was actually really good. He had as many touchdown passes as Josh Allen did last year. He had more than Patrick Mahomes. Like, I still think that Rodgers can actually play. And then you put him on a team with a line, with a running game. I don't love the Pittsburgh Steelers receivers, but I'll tell you what, adding that second tight end in Jonnu Smith, I think might be a little bit of a different look for some of the Steelers offense. And then you got the Steelers defense, which to me is elite. I mean, they might not need it as much against the Fields that doesn't throw as much, but to me, that's a secondary that's top 2, top 3 in the league, especially with Jalen Ramsey running in, and they can get to the quarterback with TJ Watt and that linebacking crew. Listen, the Steelers, death taxes and the Steelers finishing with an above 500 record, part of that is going to be a win in New York this week, and I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be in FU mode from the first snap of the game. So give me Pittsburgh at -2.5 in New York against Justin Fields and the Jets.
All right, I'm going to go to a home dog for my second play of week 1, and that is going to be Penix and the crew with the Atlanta Falcons at home, 2-point dogs against the Tampa Bay Bucks. They beat the Bucks twice last year, and they're a home dog here. And Kirk Cousins threw, I think it was for over 700 yards combined in those 2 games, which, I mean, Kirk Cousins isn't the guy this week, but still, the Bucks got torched by Atlanta, and Kirk Cousins absolutely ate them up. There have been a ton of positive reports out of Atlanta so far with Penix and Drake London, obviously Bijan, maybe a bounce back season coming for Kyle Pitts. I know Darnell Mooney is actually on the injury report, but if you actually look at yesterday's injury report, there are a lot more Bucks on this thing than the Atlanta Falcons. So I think in general, throughout the season, I do like the Bucks more, but in this spot, at home, nationally, not many expectations on this Atlanta Falcons team. I think this is a great spot for the Falcons to go into this game as a home dog against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think the Bucks are a little bit banged up on their offensive line as well, which certainly won't help things. So I like Atlanta by probably a field goal or more here. So to get them actually +2, I love it. This one, if I look back on it, this might be my favorite play of the week.
You know what? It's I'm glad you went to this game because I didn't have the balls to finish up on this one. I'm actually seeing. What are you seeing right now? 2?
I'm looking at 2 right now. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it was 2. I'm seeing a 1.5 right now. But again, I mean, listen. Even Atlanta, like money line, because again, there's so many close games. I mean, if you want to throw out 1 or 2 point spreads and bet money line, you're getting well over even money on the Falcons, which is nice. Penix passing total, by the way, in this one, 234.5. I have a feeling, I think with everything that they've worked on and the weapons that they have, they certainly try and go that. And I think Bijan Robinson will be part of that passing game as well. I was talking to Jake earlier today. He was, like in the Bijan over 20.5 receiving yards. Listen, I've been high on the possibility of Atlanta to kind of finally jump Tampa in the division. I think it was plus 155 or so. Tampa was minus money to win the division. And I sort of get it. I think I maybe underestimated Tampa's defense a little bit when we were handicapping this all. But again, it's very tough to keep on repeating over and over and over again. And to me, it is sort of wide open for another team to make that push. Atlanta was that team. And absolutely, I mean, if they're going to beat Tampa and win this division, you got to win your home game against that team, regardless of when it is. So they'll be ready to go. And I'm with you. I like the Falcons right now. I didn't have it on my card because I do think both of these teams are very tight. It should be a real fun game. But I don't mind Atlanta in there at +2 to get things going. I'll go with my next pick.
Yep.
There's some great divisional games this week. And often in the divisional games, I like to look at, teams that I think that are maybe undervalued, especially earlier on in the season. And then if you can combine that with the divisional game that's maybe a bit bigger of a number, I think almost those games are more likely to be close. I mean, that's maybe just a take I have that's based on, personal experience. But when I look at this Washington Giants game, I realize a lot of people think of these teams in two very different classes. And so much of it is that this time of year, we're focusing all on offense. We're doing fantasy drafts. Oh, one team's got Jalen Daniels. One team's got Russell Wilson. Wow. Here's the thing. I am really high on this Giants defense. I think the add of Abdul Carter, who, if he stays healthy, I think runs away with the Defensive Player of the Year. Thibodeau and the guys on that front line, I mean, they're going to be able to rush for a lot of nights, kind of like what their blueprint was back when they won the Super Bowl, going up against New England Patriots, and really help that linebacking core and secondary buckle things down when it comes to the passing game. I think they're going to be getting to the quarterback, and I think they're going to be a much tougher team to run against this year. And that's going to really help this offense that now has a legitimate starting quarterback. I know a lot of people are sort of out on Russ, but it's going to be a big, big boost from what they had after Danny Dimes left the building last year. And I think they'll be able to protect him a little bit more. So I think this defense alone is going to be able to keep this game close. Now, listen, I'm a Jaden Daniels owner. I'm obviously looking for a lot of fantasy goodness. I don't love this matchup right now for Washington in week number 1. What's the total in this game? Let me just find this out here. We are at, total is 45.5, so sort of an average game. But the Giants are getting 5 points right now. Do I think Washington wins at home? I do. But I really see this game coming down to being close in the fourth quarter, potentially a field goal, or maybe the Giants being just out and having to come back and get it close at the end. But NFC East game, a team that I think is undervalued, a really strong defense, a Washington team that didn't have Terry McLaurin for most of training camp. You got Deebo Samuel that's new. I'm not sure that it just clicks automatically like it did before, especially against the Giants. So I'm taking the G-Men +5 against the spread in this one.
I know I am fully invested in Jaden Daniels in my 3 biggest fantasy leagues. He's my quarterback in all 3 of them. But, and I'll go somewhere else because I said I had like 6 picks. The Giants were one of them. I fully agree with you on what they should be able to do defensively. Even the running back position. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about this Bill Cross. Now, I was just listening to a podcast, and there's people dropping him already in their leagues because it looks like Rodriguez is going to have more of a role than they thought, and they're going to roll with Eckler still. So, they've got some options there, but it's a little bit of uncertainty at that spot. You mentioned McLaurin missed a good chunk of camp as well. And Deebo can be a weapon, but, I mean, can he pick it up right away? I'm not 100% sure. So the Commanders, I kind of have a soft spot for the Commanders because of Jaden Daniels, but Giants defense, and you said some people are out on Russ, and I get it. Be out on Russ if you want, but this is an experienced quarterback who has had success in this league. So Giants +5.5. I thought I saw it somewhere. I can't remember where it was last night. I thought I saw it somewhere at 6.5, but it's 5.5 right now at Play Alberta. And, I think that's still a pretty good number. So I do like your Giants pick. I'll be riding with you on that one for sure. Okay, I'm gonna go to a road dog against a team that has started slow the last few years, somewhat self-inflicted. I'm gonna side with CJ Stroud and the Texans here, +3 on the road against the Rams. The Rams, their last 3 years are 1-2 in week 1, and offensively have scored 10, 13, and 20 points because they've in those years they haven't played their starters, right? We know what's up with Matthew Stafford. Well, we kind of don't know what's up with Matthew Stafford, which has sort of been a concern for the Rams.
He lives in a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's what's today? Today it's Friday, so tomorrow they'll start unwrapping his bubble wrap and we'll see what he can do. But I think I like the Texans on the road against a Rams team that has just started slow each of the last 3 years offensively. And, Houston has some question marks at running back heading into the season, but I think Nico Collins is an absolute stud. I know personally, and I'm not sure how you would view it, Huss, but I think, the shine wore off CJ Stroud last year, but I still think he's a phenomenal quarterback. And I like him in this spot. So I'm going to take the Texans. You get the whole field goal at +3 on the road against the Rams, and I'll add them to Atlanta +2 and Miami +1 on the road. So I am on 3 dogs so far. Where are you going for your 4th pick, buddy?
You know what? I'm going to, I guess, what is right now technically an underdog. I believe I'm going to the Sunday nighter. What's the line right now that you're seeing for Bills Ravens?
Let's see here. Bills Ravens -1 Baltimore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what's the money line? Is it plus money on the Bills?
It's +104 on the Bills. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, listen. For the sake of the picks, I will take the point.
Okay. Yep.
But I am riding with the Bills at home in this Sunday nighter. I'm actually a little surprised that it seems like this game is being bet heavily enough on the Ravens to move it from the pick'em that it was to plus money for Buffalo, and Buffalo getting a point. Like, the Ravens have been traditionally slow starters. Lamar Jackson has not played a snap in the preseason. And they're going on the road into Buffalo to play a team that is the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Now, I guess maybe part of it is that Buffalo has a softer schedule than some of the other first-place teams. But to me, the Bills are on a mission to get back. I mean, I do believe that we're going to see Bills-Chiefs again in the AFC Championship game. It wouldn't at all surprise me if that game is in Buffalo, based on what the Bills have ahead of them. But this is a huge game. I just feel like a huge game when it comes to the overall AFC. Yeah. Like, normally we're not talking about week 1 as a game that could determine home field advantage or something. But when you look at who we believe the true Super Bowl contenders are in the AFC, these are 2 of the 3 teams, I think, on most people's lists. So it actually is a massive high leverage game, albeit this early in the year. And I'm just thinking that the Bills are in a much better position to avoid what happened to them last year. Now, it was week 4, I believe, when these 2 teams played in Buffalo last year. Or I'm not even sure whether it was in Buffalo or not. We may have to check on that. All I know is that the Ravens ran all over Buffalo from start to finish and won running away. I mean, that game was not close. We were out, it was the end of September because I was in Montreal watching the game after the President's Cup. But to me, I got faith in Josh Allen. I think the crowd is going to be nuts. This is the last home opener in their old stadium before they move to the new one next year. The Bills are going to be a problem for everybody in the AFC, and I think they are a problem for the Ravens, who we've seen in the last few years start off 0-2 before. Wouldn't surprise me if they start off 0-1. I'm taking Buffalo at home as the slightest of home underdogs.
I like that. I mean, I probably would have viewed it as the Bills probably be a slight dog or a slight favorite at home. On the other side of it, I mean, it's a line that it's not like it's a huge, oh my God, I can't believe it. But I feel like
For
it's a
the
line that
record-
should have been flipped on the other side, right?
Yeah, for the record, I'm not betting this going, well, I just think we're getting a good number. So, like, I think the Bills are winning this football game. And if it was Bills -1 or -1.5, I think I would still take Buffalo. But the fact that we're getting a point, or if you're betting it on the money line and you're getting plus money, I mean, to me, that just makes it that much more of an attractive pick.
Okay, I've got two here that I'm trying to decide on for my fourth best bet of week
You know
one.
what? I tell you what, why don't you give them both? I've got another one.
Oh, you do have another one. Okay, we'll do
have another one,
five.
and what
I'm
you're gonna like.
I'm going to track these. I'm tracking them in an Excel file so we can keep track of them throughout the year. I'm putting them in as we go along. All right, then. Okay, well, good. Then I'll go to New England at home here against Vegas. New England did a pretty good job in the offseason. They bring in Travion Henderson, they bring in Stephon Diggs, but more importantly, they bulked up their offensive line. And that should make life a little bit easier for Drake May, who I think is a quarterback that a lot of people like and want to see, be given a legitimate opportunity behind a good offensive line. We're seeing them at 2.5 right now at home against the Raiders, a Raiders team that is obviously welcoming in a new young running back. They've got a new quarterback this year as well. Might take a little bit of time to get up to speed. And I don't think the Patriots are going to improve in leaps and bounds this year, but I think they addressed a few areas in the offseason that really held them back last year. So I'm going to take New England at home at -2.5 as my fourth play. And then my fifth one, Huss, this one, I'm a little torn on this one. I don't know. Have you any thoughts on the Browns and Bengals?
Well, yes, I have thoughts. This is a tough spot for Cincinnati to start on the road. Like, I could probably pull it up here. Like, this is one of these rivalries that you can often throw out the records and everything. Like, Cleveland gets up. They're at home.
It's 500
probably for the last time this year. Flacco's in, and he's going to be chucking it all day long. Like, I think there's some juicy prop possibilities from Cleveland offensive players against that Bengal defense. And I expect the Cincinnati Bengals to win, but if people are expecting them to just show up in Cleveland and win by double digits running away, I think that's a bit of a dangerous pick. I mean, I didn't put this on my card, but I think I actually lean Browns on this one. What's the line?
It's 5.
5.
I think I know it's at least 5. Let me see if it's 5.5. I'm pretty sure. No, it's 5 right now. So yeah, I'm on the Browns +5. I just the only hesitation that I have here, and the Bengals are 1-5, not against the spread, but 1-5 in season openers in their last 6 years. Now, we had a guest on from Cincinnati on the Nielsen show a couple of weeks ago, and he said, this is a rarity for Joe Burrow to go into a season like with a healthy offseason and healthy at the beginning of the year. And he's been always dealing with something for the last 3-4 years, whether it was physically or mentally. And so I wonder if maybe this is the year that is different. Like maybe Joe Burrow and the Bengals hit this thing running. But their defense, I don't know how it's going to be much better than it was last year. And the defense wasn't very good last year. So I think I like the Browns with the 5 points at home. And what you said, I mean, Cincinnati probably finds a way to win this game. But I mean, maybe I'm sitting here Monday looking like a complete idiot, but I don't think Cincinnati runs away with this football game on the road in Cleveland. So I'm going to take the Browns as a dog here at +5.
Here. This is the now the Cincy did take care of and presumably cover against the Browns both games last year. The game in Cleveland was in mid-October, and the Bengals, who were real desperate at that time after that start they had, they ended up winning 21-14. The year before Cincinnati went to Cleveland, the Browns won 24-3. The following in 2022, they went to Cleveland and the Browns beat the Bengals 32-13. In the previous year before that, which was the final game of the 2021 season, Cleveland won at home 21-16. The previous time they played in the 20 season, Cleveland won 35-40. Like, they've won 4 of their last 5 at home. Actually, 5 of the last 6 at home against the Browns. Make that 6 of the last 7. So last year, I'm just going down. Listen, there is a history of the Browns stepping up big time. Maybe this is a little different because it's the home opener and the Bengals are completely healthy. But listen, just based on a lot of things, I mean, I think getting the points, divisional matchup, home dog, let's go with Cleveland. And I would love to see a couple of those beautiful spiral balls from Joe Flacco going out.
Who's your 5th?
I guess I'll just quickly get to this other pick that I have. You're going to like this one. Sign me up for the Detroit Lions +2 in Lambeau Field against the Packers.
Not a popular pick right now. I like this.
Everyone is horny about the Packers. And listen, they're a very good team, but I kind of think that Detroit's been a little disrespected. And you can disrespect a bunch of teams and it'll be whatever. You disrespect the Dan Campbell team. Oh, Ben Johnson's gone. We can't win. You know what? He's going to have these guys ready to go. That Detroit versus everybody mentality, I think, is going to be clear right from the get-go of the season. And we can talk about, listen, Parsons apparently has been dealing with some back issues. I'm not sure how effective or impactful he's going to be in his first game. But guess who's on the other side of the game? Aiden Hutchinson, who we haven't seen since midway last year, when he could have very well been on the way to winning the defensive player of the year before he was hurt. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is positioned to have a monster season, and I think he'll see quite a bit early. Listen, do I think the Packers can probably develop throughout the year and potentially be a team that wins the NFC? Absolutely, I do. But right now, I think Detroit is a better team. I think Detroit is more complete. I think Detroit has the things that they were missing at the end of the season, which prevented them from getting over the hump in the NFC, are back right now. And I think that they're going to go in with a real FU mentality that everyone's writing them off and the Packers are the best team and Dan Campbell's going to find a way to win that game. So I'm on the Lions +2.
All right. So to recap, Huss is on Indy -1, Pittsburgh -2.5, the Giants +5.5, Buffalo -1, Detroit +2. And I just realized that I'm on like the Browns, Patriots, Dolphins. Like this is gross.
Hey, week 1. That's what week 1's all about.
Well, week 1 is all about that. Usually I'm like got a bunch of favorites and I'm like, oh, I'm going to crush week 1. And I'm like, what's going on? Why can't I pick anything in week 1? So maybe me going with the Dolphins, Falcons, Texans, Patriots, and Browns is the right way to go about it. Huss, what about some touchdown pros? I was thinking, do we want to do a 4-man touchdown or do we want to do a rushing TD parlay and then a receiving TD parlay? One of each. Like we each pick a guy each way. Yeah. Or do we want to do all 4 together? Let's do a rush parlay and then a receiving parlay?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. All right, give me a rushing touchdown.
Give me Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor for the rushing TD, and I will parlay that with Chuba Hubbard in the Carolina-Jacksonville game, and then a receiving touchdown. Where are you going to go in the receiving touchdown?
I'm going to stay in that game. I'm looking for a big game. I also love him if you're just looking for a yardage prop over 76.5. Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Man, I actually had Brian Thomas Jr. as my receiving touchdown, so that's good. I'll go Drake London. At home, yep. Atlanta, put up some points against Tampa Bay. So we will go BTJ and Drake London for our receiving parlay, and then Chuba and Taylor for the rushing parlay. And I'll get those up over on our specials page. What's coming up on WST, buddy?
Well, we're going to be talking lots of Banjo Bowl. The man that coined the phrase, the Banjo Bowl, Troy Westwood, he started it all. He's going to jump on, Jeff Hamilton, and then we're going to talk some NFL. Full Vikings preview, talking lots of JJ McCarthy with, for my money, the best in the biz down in the Twin Cities. Matthew Collar from Purple Insider. And the NFL notebook is packed with hacksaw. We got marbles, and then we got Chiefs Chargers tonight. I'm putting together my ride with Huss tonight. I'm going to take the Chiefs to 2.5 because I could see this game being a 3-point game. Yeah. I don't want to have a push involved in it. Love Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think Kelsey's getting in the end zone tonight. Got a Kelsey one. And from the Chargers, taking Keenan Allen over 39.5. I think it's a reasonable number. And he's going to be just like fitting right back into a spot, knows the quarterback. I think we're getting a good number on Keenan Allen. So I'm going to cook that up, but Chiefs to win tonight, hopefully cover the number. And then we move on to a CFL triple header tomorrow and a full thing. By the way, I did change my pick on Montreal yesterday, live on the show while talking to Iwanic. I was going Hamilton, and then I flipped. I'm riding with Montreal, Dusty, plus 3.5. Montreal off the bye, Hamilton on the short. Like, I think Hamilton probably finds a way to win the game. But, man, Morgan's getting all of those receivers back. DeCoy's back. I think people are writing off the Montreal Alouettes a little too soon in this game. And we've seen the extra rest compared to short week has been very impactful in the CFL. So breaking news, no longer on Hamilton. I'm riding with the Owls.
All right, Huss, we'll let you go. Enjoy that Chiefs game tonight. Obviously a triple header tomorrow, and we'll catch up on Monday. All right, buddy?
Have a great weekend. Wish Marshall luck in his first full week of fantasy football for me.
We definitely will. There you go. That's us. So we will have a couple of things popping up there. We'll have the Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London receiving TD parlay, and then we'll have the Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Taylor parlay. And then I'll take a few of our games that we picked. I guess we picked 10 games today because 9 games because we went head-to-head on Indy and Miami. But I'll take 3 of the other ones. We'll put that together for a little Lock Shop Partner Parlay as well. You'll be able to find it all on the EST Specials page over at Play Alberta. If you haven't used the Play Alberta codes for September yet, I know there were some issues. I emailed them yesterday. They said they're working on it. EST Sports, deposit 50, get a $50 free bet. YEG 50, deposit 50, get a $50 free bet as well. Huss has Indy -1, Pittsburgh -2.5, Giants +5.5, Buffalo -1, Lions +2. I've got Miami +1, Falcons +2, Texans +3, New England -2.5, and the Cleveland Browns as 5-point dogs at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And as Huss pointed out, Cleveland has won 6 of their last 7 at home against the Bengals, and we're getting them as 5-point dogs this week with old Joe Flacco back at quarterback in week 1. We've got the oil stream coming up here. That's presented to you by Boston Pizza. Connor McDavid speaking with the local media today. We're going to dive into that. The rankings of importance for the upcoming season continue as well. We've got the final of the Whipping Boy bracket that we can certainly dive into. So yeah, lots to get to coming up on the oil stream. But once again, the Lock Shop brought to you by Play Alberta. Thank you very much for joining us today. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.